Welcome to Brighter Shore Central. In this video, we're going to be talking about the latest news about Andrew Gower's new game, Brighter Shores. And there's been some recent news that has been coming out recently. Andrew Gower has recently tweeted that there's been quite a few people that have been asking about how the rooms work in Brighter Shores and how they connect together. So I've made a quick video of me running across a small section of Hopeport. You can see how easily you can move between rooms and how the rooms connect to each other to form a much larger world. Now I'm going to show this video on screen now, and you can see exactly how the rooms interconnect. Now, the first thing that I want to point out is, as you can see, that certain part of the room is blacked out. You cannot see part of the room, but other parts of the room you can see. So as you go into the next section of the map, that then becomes more visible and you can see all the content that's within it. I think that this adds an element of mystery and intrigue into the map, especially if there's anything in there that is going to you're going to run into, like mobs or different rare resources. It adds that air of mystery, and you don't know what you're going to run into as you run through the map. And I think as an initial starter player experience, that is going to be very fun and interesting, because you're going to want to explore the map as much as you can to find all the different little unique areas and find the best resources and the best training methods and the best ways to level up your character as well, and also to explore the quests that might be available as well. We can also notice that there is some very relaxing music in the game. I do want to just make a point of that. You can hear the music in the background in a moment. And you can see that this music is very, very relaxing, and I feel like it's got that type of vibe as a game where you're going to be able to just chill out, train some skills, train some professions, or go out and kill mobs. And it's just more of a relaxing vibe. It's not necessarily let's just race to the end game. It's going to be just of a more relaxing game. Now, we don't know whether PvP is actually going to be in the game. I'm trying to find out information about that. But let's just say that there is. Think about how that ability to go room by room is going to affect PvP. If you're not able to see players that are coming from further away, that's going to add an element of surprise. It's going to add an element of strategy if you have to face other enemy players. But even if it's not PvP, even at PvM levels, and if there's going to be, just little mini bosses or maybe higher level creatures to kill, then of course you have to think about strategy and how you're going to deal with those if they're going to be in the next room that you're transitioning into. So there's a lot of strategy, I think, that goes behind the reason of the design of this, where you only open up one room at a time. The other important point is that, of course, that the opening up of each room, it's not got loading screens, shall we say. There's no loading screens when you open up the next area, so therefore you seamlessly transition from one room to the next. I know that one of the concerns was, oh, what if I actually go from one room to the next and then there's going to be a massive loading screen or something like that. It seems that from what we can see in the footage that you're going to seamlessly transition into one room to the next, so it's not immersion breaking in that sense. You're just carrying on your adventure in terms of what you want to do. Another point here is one thing that I haven't seen anybody talk about, but it's kind of addictive, the way that it's set out. The idea that it refreshes a different room as you go through it and you transition in, because you're always going to want to know what's in that next room. So it's got an addictive nature to it. But also, if you think about it, social media, what do? You refresh your screen, don't you? When you're checking Twitter, you're checking Facebook, you may refresh your newsfeed over and over again, and then other stuff generates. It's kind of got that vibe to it, addictive vibe in that sense, where you're refreshing the rooms you go into as in this MMO landscape, and you just want to see what's next, what's coming up next, what can we find? These sorts of questions. And I think that actually quite genius. I think that people are going to warm to the idea. I think a lot of people were skeptical to begin with because they were worried, like I said, about loading times, for example, or the world feeling a bit small. But I think it's best to have actually this system. I think it's a good system because you want to think about what's in the room, what's in your immediate vicinity, really. You want to pay attention to each room and what you can find in each room rather than just trying to holistically explore everywhere. You're initially paying attention to each and every little detail in each and every room to make sure that you're not missing any resources, not missing any rare stuff on the ground that you can pick up. You know, if this is how they're going with it, there's always going to be that intrigue and mystery, and I think that's very interesting for the game. Another point to mention as well is there is what I think is part of a quest line. There is this kind of monument going on. There's like a monument, and then there's monument pieces on the ground. So I think that's something to do with a quest line where you've got to find the scattered monument pieces and bring them to the monument to maybe fix them. This is just theory crafting. I just imagine that is. Otherwise, why would there be a load of monument pieces on the ground unless you had to do something with them? And there is a monument, and I think those two are matched together there. The other point is that with the skills, it seems to be a variety of different things that you can actually do. So, for example, when you're fishing, there's not just like in early game fishing, there's just like one or two methods, like sort of early game. There is like multiple different ways you can fish. There was like some kind of rock pool type thing where you can kind of put your hand down maybe to get fish. There's like a fishing rod area where you can fish stuff manually that way, you know, on the near the start of the trailer, it shows, near the start of this video, should I say, this new video, it shows that as well. And also there's jellyfish and starfish just hanging about on the ground, you know, up on the beach there, which, you know, is that formulated part of fishing as well. There is also a fishmonger near the town area as well. What we don't know is this individual, do we sell the fish to them? Do we trade in the fish for XP? Does he assign us tasks? So maybe as part of the fishing, actually you go to the fishmonger, he'll give you like a task, like go fish or find, you know, go fish this item, and then you bring it back and then trade it in for XP or something like that. Or are you just able to sell the fish to the fishmonger? Or is it to do with the quest line? We don't know, but there is, you can see multiple NPCs just in the little area that Andrew Gower has shown. And I just like the overall graphics, the minimalist style of the game. I think that there's going to be a lot of strategy with the transition in between the rooms from one room to the next. So I'm really excited for Brighter Shores here. And from that video, it looks something that I would spend hours in playing. So I'm looking forward to playing the beta. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to hear about when the beta release is. This game, of course, is coming out in Q3 this year, so only a couple of months away. However, let's see when the beta comes up, and there is going to be one. Andrew confirmed that. So we'll be able to get into the game and try some of the key features out before they're released late this year in Q3. I also just want to note very quickly the picture that Andrew Gower put up about a week ago. It shows that there is going to be levels to the map as well. So there's going to be different levels in which you can traverse within the map. It's not all just on a flat surface. But I'm going to go into that in another video, and we'll talk about how that could play out. Anyways, this has been Brighter Shores Central. If you've enjoyed this video and a discussion of this new information, then do subscribe to the channel. I do try to give you the latest news.